Hey guys, welcome to Callous Fight Night. Originally, I thought I was not going to be able to actually narrate this game. I thought that it was going to be happening during the PPL auction, but guess what? They rescheduled. I don't know if that was out of a courtesy for me or if somebody's schedule just changed and it happened to benefit me, but I'll take it. I'm going to be able to live narrate this and do the PPL auction in just about an hour from now. Just giving the guys the go-ahead. Looks like we've got a bunch of spectators pouring in. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad people give a shit about Callous Fight Night. And we have a sleep powder from the Venusaur lead of our challenger, Eden. Eden's Embrace, Sunny Oros, whatever you may know him as. And Gacu on the other side. Feels like he's been our defending champ for quite some time. I don't know what his streak is right now, 3, 4, but he's really been on a roll and has just been knocking back all challengers. He led with a Fortress. It was afraid of the Venusaur, and he switched to a Houndoom, which took a Sleep Powder, but it does almost certainly have the early bird ability, so it's likely to wake up quicker than most things would. So we now have Moltres staring down Fortress. They both doubled back. Eden got the better end of that tempo-wise. Fortress is obviously not about to stay in. I don't know that Eden should either, though. If you were to stay in and go Will-O-Wisp, that's really underwhelming on Houndoom. You're not going to go HP Grass probably into Fori. That just seems meh. There's just a lot of things. Yeah, see, I don't like to stay in there. The Will-O-Wisp there, I mean, what were you really going to do to Houndoom? There we go. He's got some weird hidden power. Hidden power fighting or water, perhaps? That I kind of like. So I guess the point of the Will-O-Wisp was to be like, oh man, I fucked up. You got the Houndoom in. I shouldn't have done that. And basically entice Gacu into staying so he could hit him with that hidden power. So I don't know if the Will-O-Wisp was a fuck up, but then he took advantage of it, or if he did that deliberately to make the Houndoom come in and feel safe. So that was either an oops and then he happened to have the right move, or that was brilliant from Eden, depending on whether or not that was deliberate. So he does get a Will-O-Wisp off on the Vaporeon, which is probably annoying. I would say right now, based on Gaku's team, he probably doesn't have a Heal Beller, but this could be an all-in on Lax kind of team. It could be supporting a Lax, and there could be a Heal Beller there. Houndoom and Fortress makes sense because you want Gengar to be gone. Lax is not typically found. It's found alongside Houndoom sometimes, but Lax and Fortress in particular would be a pretty awkward pairing if he has that. And then Vaporeon is a very support-based water, so it certainly looks like a team built around supporting something, and lo and behold, it actually is a Snorlax. Like I said, Lax plus Fortress is a weird and very uncommon pairing. We'll see what Gaku can do with it, but it seems that he likely built a team around what is presumably a Curse EQ Rest Lax. He's now going to switch over to Steelix, thinking maybe a Boom or a Meteor Mash is going to come down. We'll never know because it's a full para. Metagross is not gaining leftovers here. It could be a Choice Bander. He has to be afraid of the now faster Steelix, thanks to Para, getting him with Earthquake. On the lookout for that. Stab Earthquake on meta, depending on how invested the Steelix is, very well could kill him here. Steelix typically is far more defense-minded than offense-minded. It's a very easily walled Pokemon. Gengar shuts it off, Skarmory shuts it off, various things make Steelix more or less obsolete offensively, but that is a big boo-boo for Eden. He's going to go Moltres into Steelix, and he's going to get rocked by Rock Slide, pun intended, and he is going to get hit with a 4x weakness for the instant one-hit KO from 100%. That's a clear mistake, and Eden is going to lose his Moltres due to that gaffe. He's now going to find himself behind. Gaku, nonetheless, does have a couple pokes afflicted with status effects. Remember, the Houndoom, which probably has early bird, is still sleeping, and of course, the Vaporeon is burnt. Articuno actually probably does have Heal Bell, so any advantage that Eden may have had thanks to those status effects, I think is probably about to go away. And indeed, there is Heal Bell. So everybody healthy for Gaku. Articuno here is being mooched on by Leech Seed. And Articuno is more or less a meme Pokemon. Gaku more or less has decided to bring a pretty funsies team this time. Houndoom, Steelix, and Articuno are all varying degrees of questionable. But it's very creative, and this is the kind of stuff I like to see on Fight Night. We'll see if he can get the win with it. Back-to-back focus punches from the T-Tower of Eden, who he himself was a long-time champion here. He went on one of the longest streaks as the champion in Callous Fight Night. I think he had 4 in a row. So this is a battle of two guys that have been very successful in this little mini tour that we do. Very curious to see who's going to take it down. It looks to me like Gacu is ahead right now, but the game is certainly far from over. And a very cool team from Gacu. I don't know how viable it is, but it's really cool. This is the exact kind of thing that I want to see for Fight Night. Fresh, original, creative stuff. Makes for good viewing content, in my opinion. Sleep powder. Ah, that's right, because the heal bell had occurred. So he would not be violating sleep clause. He can absolutely put something to sleep, and it's going to be the Houndoom again, who is low, and again probably has early bird, so that's probably the ideal target to get hit with that. So there's Leech Seed on Fortress now. Venusaur has not shown hidden power. It presumably for the last two moves has hidden power something or other, whether it's fire or ice, and a grass attack, whether that's Razor Leaf or Giga Drain. But sometimes Venusaur can be physical. It could theoretically have Earthquake and Sludge Bomb, but whatever it has, it doesn't like its matchup against Fortress. It gets out of the way. Here comes Articuno coming in on the Earthquake of meta, who again is not gaining lefty, so he might be stuck on that Earthquake. If he's not, though, Articuno would easily be killed by a Meteor Mash or basically anything other than an Earthquake. But Articuno feels safe, stays in, goes Ice Beam, connects with Rachi, who doesn't care with that resistance. Rachi, of course, has lefties. Gonna go for Wish here. We'll see who needs it. Venusaur at 61%, Meta at 60, Kun is healthy, and T-Tar's at 88%, but it is afflicted with that poison status ailment from the Toxic earlier. So Lax gets Body Slam off. It's going to be largely negated by the Wish. That is clearly a choice bander if there were any doubt based on that damage. Meteor Mash 70% to Lax is a ton. However, Counter is going to easily kill the Metagross. And it's going to be a further lead now 6-4 for our defending champion Gacu. Eden now trying to figure out how to follow up. He's going to go to the Poison T-Tower, has to also step on the Spike on the way in, knocking him down to 76% when all is said and done. And this can absolutely revenge kill the Lax here if he is allowed to do so. The mind game begins. Do you Rock Slide into Steelix? Do you Earthquake into Articuno? Blah, blah, blah. There are plays that Gacu could make. Most likely he's going to stay in, and that is the case. He goes self-destruct, and he's going to blow up into a substitute. So I guess that was an okay turn for Eden, but he still feels far behind. Probably he's going to have to set up a last poke Kun or a last poke Jirachi in order to win. I can't see too many other paths. Other than that, if he goes blow for blow, I don't see him winning the game given the current state of things. So I think he's going to have to get one of his setup Mon online and make a push. There is a Focus Punch and a Wish respectively. The poison ticking away at T-Tar. 32%. Vaporeon with Wish usually has Protect as well and is going to be able to get himself full and healthy. And here comes Venusaur thinking there will be a Protect turn. That is the correct prediction for Eden. Gaku's Vaporeon will get healthy again, up to 91%, but Venusaur sneaks in consequence-free. Can it do anything with this tempo? Giga Drain's pretty good, 43% gets the Venusaur healthy again. Vaporeon again opting for Wish. Be aware that Giga Drain, of course, only has that 8 starting PP, which could be even less PP if it attacks into Articuno, which has pressure, or if it were to simply attack into a Protect. So the Giga Drains can absolutely get depleted. Gaku is going to successfully pass Wish to Articuno, and Venusaur does not go HP Fire if he even has that. On the way in, he simply goes Leech Seed instead. That's going to connect. Articuno going to be seeded, and he's going to get out of the way and not be seeded, leaving us with Steelix against Jirachi. They can both potentially hurt each other. Steelix is definitely going to have EQ. The question is whether or not Jirachi is bulky and whether or not it has Fire Punch. He gets out of the way. Here comes Kun. Kun goes for rest. Steelix might blow on it. Instead, he goes Earthquake, and that does way more than I would expect a Steelix to do to a Kun. So it's either not an ultra bulky Kun, or it is a Steelix that has a substantial attack investment. Kun does not look like a good win condition, given the fact that Vaporeon with that water absorbability is on the other side. Kun probably can't touch it at all if he only has a water attack, and even if he does have Ice Beam, which is pretty uncommon when also paired with Rest, that is not going to beat through Vaporeon very easily. He would need a Freeze or something along those lines, running crits or whatever BS in order to break through the Vaporeon. That's very hard to do. The Jirachi is probably his best bet, and he needs to not lose it here. He's going to go for Ice Punch. 20% chance to get a freeze when he does that because of Serene Grace, but he doesn't get it on that first attempt. Fortress has Earthquake, as they almost all do. That's to defend itself against Magneton, which Eden does not have. And the Rachi takes it pretty well. Gonna go for Wish here. Here comes Steelix. We know that has Stab Earthquake. The Rachi has indicated that it doesn't have Fire Punch. We don't know the last move yet. It still theoretically could be, but it also very well may just be Thunderbolt. A Bolt Beam, or a pseudo Bolt Beam, for the Jirachi is what it looks like it's going to be to me. Nothing else on the team would have an electric attack. I mean, T-Tar can, but it doesn't. And I guess if he's really worried about having that, then Jirachi's going to fill that void. But scratch that. There's Rachi coming in on Earthquake from Steelix. It's going to be a KO from 64%. Like I said, I think that Steelix has pretty hefty attack investment to make it a lot less do-nothing than it otherwise can be. And I think with that Jirachi KO, I think Eden's probably in some trouble. The Coon would be a good win condition in a lot of other situations, but very anti-Coon team from Gacu. Between the Lax, which beats it one-on-one, the Vaporeon, which walls it for days, and the Articuno that is very safe against it, can pressure it, and can phase it out. This is about as anti-Coon as one can realistically get, I guess without Leech Seed, but Gaku's team very well set up against Coon. Not going to be a viable win condition in this situation. Eden is going down to last poke Coon here, but it more or less looks over to me. Tyranitar has no chance here. He's going to get killed by the Ice Beam. It is last poke Coon here, and like I said, he might not be able to touch the Vaporeon literally. He might just not have an attack other than a water attack, and even if he tried to grind it out and play the PP stall game, which Coon is very good at, given the sheer Pokemon advantage that Gaku has, that 5-1 lead at this point, and his own pressure Pokemon, and the Vaporeon, and a Pokemon that probably has Boom in Steelix. It is simply way too much to overcome, too little too late. Gaku is going to retain his championship for another week. He just keeps winning. Eden with a valiant effort, but he's going to come up short. Gaku's going to defend himself, and we are going to find out in just a moment. We're going to wait on this conversation till after. Check on my Ruins of Elf game here. Skip to the end. Did we win? Ooh. We're going to lose. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see live on video. X-Ray, you suck. Let's find out who Gaku is going to fight against next week. Alrighty, here's our challenger pool. I'm glad it's been replenished a little bit. We've got, 9 guys in here now. Do some quick math as I love to do. 26, 31, 35, 38, 40, 43. Hey, that's pretty easy. Let me try it again. 26, 29. This is why we double check. I caught myself. That's 31, 35, 38, 40, 43. Alrighty, so you guys know the deal by now. We've done this for however many weeks in a row. So, 1 through 43, whatever it is, we'll draw it once. Here's the click. Number 41 is going to get the nod. That's going to be somebody with, I think, only 1 or 2 entries. It's unlikely mathematically, but that's the way the RNG fell. Who is number 41? That is going to be, is that Jabba again? I don't know if we can have that. This might be my very first redraw. Jabba just played against Gaku last week, I believe. I don't know if we can have that. Well, I mean, the number is what it is. I guess it's going to be Jabba. I will give him the option, since he just played last week, to decline. If he doesn't want to play, I'll redraw and it'll be somebody else. But it fell on Jabba, so he'll get first dibs. So potentially a Gaku against Jabba rematch next week. Look forward to that. I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching.